Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a clipboard, so we have a question, and this one comes from Hobbs, and he says, Serge, I know that you and Doc favor the smaller size driver head. What size driver head does DJ use and why? Okay, let me start off by commenting on the fact of what we think is a good size driver head. I think when you look at the physics of impact and everything else, and the speed of swinging a golf club, and the fact that they're making drivers 460 cc's, those are pretty big heads. They have to make them quite light with thin faces to get them to be at a weight that's reasonable, that people can swing them. And because they have the slight faces, we have to deal with that thing called the trampoline effect, where the ball can trampoline into the face and therefore then get projected off, so the face goes in and out like that. And I think that can have some effect on, if you can swing it fast enough to trampoline, it can have effect on direction and cracking faces if you hit it hard enough. Now, the fastest I've ever swung while I've been tested is 108 miles an hour, and I'm nowhere near that now. I'm hopefully maybe at doing 100 now, but I have cracked the driver head, and but naturally the faster you swing, the more likely you will be able to crack crack a head. Once you crack the head's no good, because it's going to sound funny. Never mind the fact the ball won't go well. It go all kinds of different directions, and that's not going to be good. So 460 I believe is too big. I think a lot of people agree with me, but that right now the companies are building them big and selling them like crazy, so they're not about to change. But we know they can't go more than 460 because the USJ passed a rule, law, whatever you want to call it, where they maxed out at 460. Right now, this head I have in my hands is a 355 cc, and I also have a 360 cc head. And I got a share of my share of them that are 460, and I'm going to tell you one thing. The biggest thing about the 460 heads that I feel, and I'm a pretty good ball striker, and I hit it quite consistently in the sweet spot, is that when you miss the sweet spot with a bigger head, I think the ball goes worse than missing it what I would consider to be the equal amount that I miss it with this smaller head. This small head, when I miss it, it goes farther and it goes straighter, and that's ultimately the big key with playing successful golf. You're only as good as your misses. And so I think that without a doubt you're going to see them going smaller at some point in time, because they can't go bigger anymore, and they can't make many more changes to them. I mean, how many things are still left for them to do that can make a head supposedly hit the ball farther? And so that's the key. So the question, to get back to the original question, which was, what size driver head does DJ use and why? Well, DJ uses a 460 head, and the ultimate reason why he uses that is because of a contract with the company that he represents, and to use their driver, and that company is right in the thick of things with the driver wars. And so since all they're making is 460 cc heads, that's what DJ has to play, as required by his signing that contract, that he would play that equipment. All right, and so we've done everything we can. Doc has checked his clubs. He checks all his drivers out. He makes sure that the shafts are in it are correct, and everything is proper with the MOI of it, and ultimately the frequency, that the shaft is correctly spined, so that the spine's aiming in the right place, and that as best as he can do, that he can have that the Doc has that club that built to match DJ swing as perfectly as he can. And when you add that much to it, and you are as big and strong as DJ is, he can swing a driver at least 125 miles an hour if he wants, and hit it 300 yards in the air all day when he wants. He can handle that 460 head. But I still believe that if he had a smaller driver, his misses would be even more consistent and better. And so when you add those two things up, and your misses are less bad, that's a sign of playing better golf, and very likely less bad misses are going to be closer, if not in the fairway. You're going to start hitting more greens too. So I would like to see him playing smaller, but unfortunately his contract obligations to the company he represents, he has to play the 460 head. But we're making the best of it by making sure his equipment is as perfectly fitted to him as it can get, with Doc taking care of that for us. So again, I'm just going to stand here and close this off by saying, if you want to play better golf, I think you'd be better off with a smaller head. I can't tell you how many times I've had golfers come to personal lessons as well as golf schools, and they've heard me saying these things, and they go back in their garage where they got drivers from 5-10 years ago, because it's amazing how many of us buy the new drivers, but we don't get rid of the old ones, and that's great because now you can go back and test it yourself. If you got some older drivers with a lot smaller head than you're playing now, go ahead and try them, and I'll bet you probably, A, they might be shorter than the new ones, and if they're not, just choke up a little bit, but hit them long and start choking them up or whatever. But I'll bet you you're going to find that you hit those smaller heads much more solid consistently, and the misses are going to be less bad. So that's a form of getting that improvement, and you're going to find that with better misses, the ball stays in play better, and you're going to shoot the lower scores. So if you got some old ones in the garage, take them out and go test them and prove it to yourself that small is better. All right, well, that's it for the search today on driver sizes, the size of the driver heads. And with that, I'll be talking to you all again soon.